Hello and welcome back to Azure Terraformer. Doing another mailbag episode today. The mail just seems to keep on coming, and I'm here, still in Beijing, trying to wrap up my trip here and finish taking care of all the stuff that I got to get done. Drinking some red tea today. They serve it in this nice little white glass. It's quite delicious. The message comes again from Alofen. This question is, I was unable to find any official documentation on Azure site, whether subscription ID, tenant ID is considered a potential candidate for setting as a secret in our pipelines. Some companies I've encountered wanted subscription IDs set as secret. I think it's simpler when they are just set as variables. Easier UX as a developer to see the value in the GitHub GUI. Great tutorials as always. Well, hey, thank you, Alofen. Not quite sure how to pronounce that, but I'll get it right eventually. Yeah, this is a good question. The age-old question of what's a secret. Subscription ID is a unique identifier that gets created, for every subscription that you have. Tenant ID is a unique identifier that gets created for your Azure AD tenant. The question is, are these secrets? Should you lock them down so people can't see what they are? Which is essentially how we treat secrets. My answer would be no. No, you should not lock them down as secrets. Are they something that you want to go and publish out on GitHub? Probably not. You probably don't want to publish them. You don't want to, go, shouting them out, from the hilltops. But they're not sensitive in the sense that it's not a credential. Okay. It's a name, basically. It's a name for your account. And it's even less of a threat because it's a logical name. It's not like a physical address. It is needed if somebody does get a credential. They do need to know what subscription that credential has access to. So it is something that could be used in conjunction with a credential to do a lot of damage. So I would not lock it down as a secret in your pipelining tools, namely because it can affect observability, right? Your operators, if they don't know what subscription the deployment is being targeted to, it makes it much more difficult for them to track down what the heck is going on. So from that vantage point alone, I would consider subscription ID and tenant ID as excellent contextualizers within your logs. They will let you know, like, what context you're trying to do this deployment within. And that's both at the subscription level and the Azure Active Directory tenant level. Because if your tenant ID is bad, and some organizations might have multiple tenants, right? So if there's a conflict or a mismatch between a credential that you're using and the tenant that you think that you're operating under, it's not going to work. And if you don't know the context of the operation you're trying to perform, it's just going to cause confusion and delay and create inefficiency and waste where it wouldn't otherwise be. So I hope that helps in terms of, whether subscription ID or tenant ID should be considered a secret, considered sensitive, and how you should handle it in terms of, within your pipeline. Should it be grayed out so that people running the pipelines can't see what they are? And I would say leave it open, leave it visible. Don't publish it in your source code. That's a big no-no. And definitely not on the public interwebs. Don't publish it on the public interwebs. But for internal variables, I think you can leave it visible in plain text. Within your private repository that with environment variables that you manage. So I hope that helps. If you guys are enjoying the channel, please consider smashing that like button. It tremendously helps out. And also consider subscribing. we're gunning for 2,000 subscribers. We're getting kind of close. 1,600 is kind of close, I guess. It really helps out if you guys, smash that subscribe button. You'll know when my next video drops. Really appreciate it. This is the Azure Terraformer checking in again from the Middle Kingdom here in Beijing, China. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time terraforming Azure. Until next time, this is the Azure Terraformer signing off.